Hello everyone and welcome. I'm VelvettB and thanks for joining me today for this large family home speed build. So this is a 6-bed, 6-bath, 40 by 30 home. It's a big one. There is a lot to do, but it was for a shell challenge, so I didn't have to work out the shell. I just had to fill it up with beautiful things. So if you don't know me and you're not familiar with the channel at all, I'm Velvet. I am a big lover of The Sims. I love simulation games. I love all sorts of games. But The Sims is one of my very favorites, and the majority of this channel is dedicated to The Sims. I love gameplay, I love building. I actually really still enjoy CAS too, so I'm an all-rounder as far as enjoyment goes. Whether I'm any good at any of it, well, that's up for debate. I feel like I'm okay at building. I don't think I know very much about gameplay. And CAS, well, I don't know. Probably not that great, but who knows. I have fun, and that's the main thing, right? That we have fun in the game. So I'd like you to settle on down, grab a snack, and, just enjoy this lovely speed build that we've got ahead of us. So this shell was created by Fashionista Sims, someone I follow on social media, and I saw that they had a shell challenge, and I was like, ooh, let's do this shell challenge. And I don't know why, I looked at it and I didn't think it was all that big. But it's really quite big. It's a big one, and I'm really glad there wasn't a hidden basement or anything with this one, because I would have got through like 3 floors and gone like, oh no, there's a basement too. But there wasn't, so yay. But there is 3 floors, and as I said, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. There is also not a fashion studio, a art studio. There is an indoor gym, and there is just a whole room dedicated to kind of the kids' hangout area, because obviously there, with 6 bedrooms, you're going to have a lot of kids in the house. Well, in this case, I designed it to have a lot of kids in the house, so I did think about just like having a cool little play space for the kids. And I did create like a whole room, just like, with a big projector screen that you get with a little campus kit, and like some chairs and some activity little things, a dollhouse and some drawing desks and, that sort of thing. So I did create it so it is a very family friendly home is the idea. Now you will see throughout the duration of this speed build that I changed the color of the exterior of this house a number of times. So if you saw the picture or the thumbnail for this video, it does not look like this, right? I did not have a black roof. No, I did not. So I went through a lot of changes. So initially it was black roof, red brick, and then I got to the inside of the house, and the inside of the house was so different from the outside of the house. I felt like it was quite a mismatch. So that's why I ended up initially changing the exterior of the house, because I felt like the exterior just really did not indicate what was on the interior at all. It was like very different. So I thought, you know what, I actually really need to gel this together a lot better than what I did. So I went back and I changed the exterior of the house, and then I kept fiddling with it because I wasn't like quite happy with it. Like, it was okay, but I just kept fiddling it. I felt like it needed like a little bit more dimension because it was kind of one note. So you'll see that kind of progress throughout the build, and how that kind of changes and evolves as I sort of get to the inside, and then I'm like, oh, hang on, yeah, no, not working. But on the exterior, so just ignore the fact that it's red brick and black roof for now, because that does change. On the exterior, we do have like quite a lot of, I guess, space for activities and stuff as well. And we've got like a pool on the outside, and I do create like a little driveway area. In the backyard, I did actually create like a specific garden area. Because this is a shell challenge, you do have to stick to a few rules. So one of the rules is not changing the exterior walls and not adding like extra walls and that sort of thing. So you can work with porches, fences, half walls, all that sort of good stuff. So you can, I guess, creatively change the shape of the build. So you can do that through porches and bits and pieces. And you can actually add extra buildings to the build, just not with walls. So again, you just have to get creative with how you do it. And you'll see me do this a little bit later in the build. Around the back, I do create a garden shed, and I don't do it with walls. So yeah, so if you're creative with it, It's amazing what you can actually do in the game with a shell challenge without, without breaking the rules. Hey, maybe maybe you're doing them just a smidge, but nah. I think it's still within the rules, right? I feel like it is. But it did mean this is quite a large house. So when I was changing all the colours of everything, it was actually quite a lot of work having to go through and actually make sure that I did change the colour of everything on the outside, because there's so many sort of details on the outside and so many different colours. And it was quite a lengthy build because it was so big. So that makes sense to me that it was quite a lengthy build, a lot of decorating on the interior. And a lot of decorating on the exterior as well. So I did end up skipping over a few bits here and there with like some of the landscaping and some of the exterior decorating. I tried to include some of the, the more interesting things, like, creating the garden shed and the garden area and just doing like the little playground area out the back. What I'm attempting to do there, if you're wondering, is like, why are you putting a knob on a square, Velvet? The idea is that was just like a faux doorknob. Not a doorbell, a doorbell. That's kind of the idea. I don't know if I pulled that off. Otherwise, if it doesn't come across as a faux doorbell, then it is just a weird decorative effect. I tried, but there wasn't really. There wasn't really a lot. I don't know. Maybe I need to think about that more as an idea. I'm just thinking whether or not there is anything that could be shrunk down and used as a faux doorbell. It's a possibility of it. Anyway, that's what I went with at the time. So what I'm doing at the moment is just creating sort of the outdoor area. So this is kind of like the format and how how it's going to kind of flow. So it's more in the fenced area there, right at the back of the house. It's going to be like your play area for the kids and bits and pieces. And now I am creating my garden shed. So I'm just adding the roof, and again, just trying to match it to what is already kind of there in the house, and just like the rest of the house, it will evolve in colour. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm adding some columns. So I'm just using I believe it's life and death columns at the moment, but I end up changing those. And I'm just using this fencing that I think comes from Eco Lifestyle, I think. Oh, what pack does that come from? There's a question. Either Eco Lifestyle. No, I think it's Eco Lifestyle. Anyway, it's quite a tall fence, and I thought, you know what, that's actually going to connect with the roof really nicely, and it's just going to create a faux wall effect, because it's a garden shed. It doesn't actually have to be an enclosed area. So I was like, well, you know what, we can just create like a little fake shed, which is cute. And I thought, you know what, let's plant some trees as well. So I found some trees in debug that could be planted and created a little garden area off to the side of the garden shed. Only ended up having 6 garden planters. I mean, that's quite a lot, because we've got some vertical garden planters around the place as well. So I figured, that's actually quite a lot of planting around the home, and maybe that could be like how they make money and stuff, is through a little bit of gardening, and maybe they can do something with it. So I put in the flower arranging table as well as the woodworking table into the garden shed. So it is actually a functional area that the Sims will want to go into, and that is usually my preference with most areas. If I'm going to create a room, I do want it to have some sort of function to it, and not just be decorative. That's just kind of my mindset on building rooms, because otherwise, why would your Sim want to go in there? If that makes sense. So I'm really delving into the garden, what's it called? The greenhouse haven kit, and just getting all the little goodies from there. And I added up like some little stuff on the ground, like some mud and some spilled water and stuff, because I felt like that made sense in a garden shed, that it would be just a little bit messy. The inside is pretty pristine. I didn't do any messy features in there, but on the exterior, did little bits of grass everywhere, and the little bit of spilled water in the shed. I thought that was cute little features. I did a basketball hoop in our little backyard area for the kids. So you've got the swings, you've got the monkey bars, and you've got the basketball hoops. There are bikes around the front as well for the kids. So I feel like there is, obviously plenty to do for the kids, and there's the pools as well. Not so aimed at the toddlers, but they're just toddlers for such a short time that I didn't worry about it. There is a toddler bedroom in this house though, So just keep that in mind. At the moment, what I'm working on is the floor plan. So I'm just throwing some different furnishings around the place as I'm thinking about how I want this build to be laid out. It was actually quite a challenging build to work out the floor plan for, because you actually do need 2 sets of stairs. You can't get away with one, because there was just let me think. Okay, so there was 2, no, because it's like on one side you need to have a stairs that goes up to the second level off to the side, and that goes up above the lounge. And there's another set of stairs that goes up to the second level. And from there, I think there needs to be 2 lots of stairs up to the 2 different rooms up the top. I'm pretty certain that's how I had to work it. So there's actually quite a few little stairs around the place just to make it all accessible. Pretty certain that's how I did it. So the lounge, so down the bottom, there's actually the kitchen dining all in one sort of area. And then that goes off, and then you sort of got the lounge off to the side, and then you go upstairs and there's going to be the art studio up there. And then also downstairs there's a teenage bedroom with a bathroom, and there's also a guest bathroom downstairs too. So that's kind of how the layout is there. On the second floor, so you've got the art studio, which is above the lounge, which is a whole separate beastie. And then you've got 4 bedrooms. I want to say 3 bathrooms, as well as the gym, and there's like a little reading nook as well. So you can sort of see this coming together here. So this is the second floor area I was just talking about, 4 bedrooms with a gym. And then these are each of the 2 stairway areas that go up to the 3rd floor. So I'm initially starting with a deep brown floor and beige walls. So again, just like the rest of the build, this will change colors as we go along. So this is kind of what I'm starting, and then like everything I did, like I ended up going with that light tile throughout, which I thought was really nice. And the walls changed to white, so I did white walls and the beige or sort of creamy colored tile. So that ends up deciding a lot of my color palette, and this is why I had to change the exterior of the build color, because I just felt it was such a mismatch outside to inside, because I ended up on the inside going a really neutral palette. I don't always do a lot of neutrals. Like I will quite often use neutrals with like a pop of color, but I went quite neutral with this one, with the odd pops of colors. And like the bedrooms are a whole personality thing, so they're a whole different kettle of fish. But in the shared areas, it was very, very neutral as far as the colors go, which I really like, and I thought it looked really classy and actually really suited the home. I was initially, and you can sort of see this here in the hallway, and this will change again a bit later on as I get my sort of mojo going with my decorating, is that I was initially going to go sort of blues as a pop of colour. So I was going to have like a neutral base and then sort of bring it out with blues, but this really very much evolved as I started to get into the build and started to establish that I actually wanted to go neutral. So there is an argument to be had for doing the interior of the house, like, you know, building the shell of the exterior and just getting the idea of the shell, and then going to the interior, decorating it and getting the vibe that you want, and then going to the exterior and finishing it properly. Because there was a little bit of mucking around with this build and trying to understand what I wanted to do and how it was going to kind of evolve. But sometimes I just build messy like that, and it happens. And this was just one of those builds where it was a little messy as far as me just establishing in my brain how I wanted it to all go. So this is me starting to establish that I wanted to go neutrals. You can sort of see I'm changing all the colors, and it's just coming together. And this is the point where I'm like, right, this is the color that we're going with. And that was helped by these shelves that we got with the Casanova cave kit, because I put those in and I was kind of like, oh yeah, those are so classy, I want to use those. And I did use those around the place, and it ended up being quite good because I felt like the house was just so beautiful on the interior. I did some really, really nice decorating in little different sections of the house, and like little feature areas, and I thought that was super cute. So for the kitchen, I'm actually using the not the Dream Home Decorator, the Island Living counters. The reason I wanted to use the Island Living counters for this was because I like the way that they curve over the edge with the white, and then they've got like the rattan, or sort of, yeah, the rattan drawers on the inside, so it's like a contrast color. It looks really classy and it's really pretty. So I was like, you know what, I want to use those. So that's what I did. I think you could have done like a similar effect with the Life and Death ones as well, because they also have, I think, that wrap over effect, or is that the Home Chef Hustle ones? Definitely the Home Chef Hustle. But they just weren't quite the, you know, the color, and I just wanted to kind of bring in like a natural element into the build, like with woods and different textures of, you know, different, like things like your rattan and your different woods and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, bringing in textures as well as particular, you know, shades of items, just to, you know, add like a different effect. So you can sort of see the kitchen coming together. So if you're wondering about what I did around the oven, I created a splash guard, and I used the Snowy Escape divider to create that splash guard around there. So you do shrink it down and just like pop it around. I think I've done a video somewhere with how to do that. So if I remember, I'll try to link to it. I don't know if I'll remember that, but I'll try. Can but try, right? So I'm just adding like little bits of clutter around the kitchen area, just to make it sort of cute. Just adding a little bit more brightness with the lighting as well, because it's quite dull in there. So I just needed a little bit more light. The funny thing was this, because a lot of the counters I was using were half counters. I actually ended up needing, like, you know, a full counter for a sink, because I do at the end of the build realize that I haven't put in a laundry, so I end up putting the laundry, the washer and the dryer, in the kitchen. So a couple of the full counters end up getting replaced. So there's kind of like mostly half counters for preparing food, but I did play test it and it is fine. It is all working. I did make sure that I did cook them, be able to cook in the kitchen. So it's all feasible, all works, all good. And yeah, we've got our laundry and everything in there as well. Just for, you know, the real sense of what it's like to have a family. You're going to be doing laundry all the time. If you're anything like me in my life. So I added just a little bit more clutter, obviously, around the little items there and around the sink. So that's, you know, I feel like it's a real functioning, you know, realistic kitchen in a very nice way. I wish my kitchen looked that nice, right? But it is what it is. So you got like a little breakfast bar as well there. Just added in a rug. I was actually quite happy to have like a little bit of space there. You've got your bar, so, you know, if you're entertaining, then, you know, you can pop some drinks out to your mates and have a good drinky drink. So this is me starting on these large hallway areas. I didn't want to just leave them blank, so I did think about some different ways that I could create some areas. This is me just adding some vertical slats to that wall, just to add like a little, again, texture to that wall. And I create my own little artwork here. So I'm using the little mega hunks from a base game, and that plain art frame with the 4 things. I don't know, I can't remember what pack that's from. I don't think it's base game, but anyway, I just created my own little artwork there. I had fun with it. I was getting quite creative in this build, which was fun. So in this area here, so this is kind of like a second lounge area. This is not the actual lounge area. It's kind of like a hall, a very large hallway that kind of goes from the front of the house through to the back of the house. So, you know, it's a large hallway, but it just seems so empty leaving it as a hallway. So I created this as like a little hangout area, book nook kind of area. And there's actually a second book nook upstairs as well. So I created 2 different kinds of book nooks. What can I say? I love books, okay? I'm going to throw as many books as I can in a build sometimes. And using some of the new framed photos from the new kits. What was that? Comfy Gamer and the Casanova Cave kits. They both came with framed pictures that you can put there, as well as the one that came with is it the Storybook Nursery one? Yes, it is. Storybook Nursery. And just using some more of those vertical slats. They're actually a really handy building tool, those slats. And they come with the Eco Lifestyle pack. You can also get a version with the Get Famous pack. It's slightly different in different colors with the Get Famous ones. And you can actually use them to, like, you know, liven up like blank wall spaces and, you know, create like some cute little areas. And you'll see I'm going to do that here with that as well. Just, you know, adding a plant and a little end table and some shelves and just putting some decoration on there. Just, again, just add like a little bit of a point of interest to the hallway, to the walls, and just make them, you know, look a little bit interesting. I did actually think about doing like these cute little antique-ish kind of containers. That was initially the idea. I was going to go with that, but then I just decided they weren't quite the right vibe for the house, so I changed that. But I thought they were cute. Cool idea. And I found that little corner vase and I was like, oh, I can use that. Thank you very much. I think that's from Get Famous. And yeah, that's me just yeeting those jars out of there, but just using a few of the statues and vases from around the place in neutral sort of tones just to mix it up a little bit. And then I thought, you know what, we just could do like this stack of plants going up the wall. So 1, 2, 3, but they had them in 3 different colors. And so that's what I did with that. And then just like a couple more, a chair in the corner, again, just cozy little nook just to sit there and, you know, chitty chat away, have a book read or something like that. I was initially going to put a fireplace there, but it looked a bit weird. So, this is me just changing the color of the books. So I ended up using some more of these beautiful shelves from the Casanova Cave pack. They're big and they're chunky and they take up a good amount of room. And I was just like, that's handy. I've got a whole lot of room to fill up. Let's fill that up with those lovely shelves. And just throw in a lovely rug, slightly off center, and boom, done. So in here, I was playing around with mirrors in this section. And again, just doing like a little end table thing. So what I actually ended up doing is I used the full base game mirrors that you get. And then I used the curtain rails that you get with the Desert Luxe pack. And then using the using the vertical slats that you get with Eco Lifestyle, if you shrink them down to the right size, they actually will sit in behind the mirror. And you can create like a frame around the mirror, which I thought was a cool idea. So that's what I did. And this is me just yeeting the blue because I realized that blue was not going with anything that I was doing in the build. So this is the blue that I also used in the hallway. So you'll see me go back and actually change that in a minute because I'm like, well, blue doesn't work. Let's just go with the pink because it has the gold kind of going through it, and that kind of works better with the more neutral tones. So just doing a quick change around with some of the colors as I'm getting rid of the blue and just bringing in like the soft pinks and golds, which work a lot better with the build. And again, just another mirror going in behind there and a little planter in there. Using the cabinets from the Cozy Kitsch kit is there along that wall too. So I was initially going to put the fireplace on this wall. And then this is me changing the color on the outside again. That will change again. But then I've decided that I'd put them on this wall and create like a little faux chimney on the outside. So I did this using half walls. So again, not using the full walls, which is against the rules, but using a half wall and creating the chimneys and using the ones from Horse Ranch because that's the stone that I kind of used around the place. And I felt that was quite cute, having that on the side, like a nice little feature off to the side. I used the wrong color though. So I do actually end up lightening that color at some point. It was just kind of bugging me. I was trying to go like a slightly darker color because I think that's what I did on the foundation on the exterior at that point. So I was trying to match it, but just on the interior, yeah, it was just wrong. So this is me going slightly lighter because I felt like that worked so much better. I ended up keeping the white brick. So that white brick is what we use in the kitchen. And I decided to keep it on that wall as well, just as a little feature wall. And I'm using the Casanova Cave Kit TV because that TV is like enormous and also gorgeous. So I was like, you know what, we're going to keep that. And again, it's sticking with that kind of bringing in some of the natural elements idea that I had throughout the build with like bringing in the woods and the different textures and different types of materials. And that just continued on with that kind of theme. So I was like, you know what, that's a really good TV. And you'll see I'll bring in like pops of gold around the place too, because I felt like the gold really worked nicely with with the build and the tones that we were using. I was thinking about doing some kid clutter in this lounge, but then I kind of rethought that because I had been thinking at that point about having a specific kid-friendly room. And I was like, you know what? I feel like this lounge is going to be more about entertaining than it is about being a family room, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's going to be upstairs areas are going to be more about the family, and the downstairs areas are going to be more about, you know, people visiting. So, you know, you've got your card table there, and this is all more about entertaining. So this is the area that's going to be, you know, more pristine, more tidy, less cluttered. And that kind of made sense to me. Like, you know, the private rooms and the upstairs areas, I felt like they would naturally lend themselves to being more cluttered. And then, like, this is the I guess the side of the family that they present to the world, if that makes sense. So, you know, this is the tidy and stylish part of the house. And not that the rest of the house isn't stylish and isn't tidy, but they're just like, there's a little bit more clutter in like some of the rooms, and you know, having the kid area, a bit more clutter there and that sort of thing too. So I did think about how I wanted to do that. So you can sort of see the start of the bathrooms. I'm just sort of working out the colors and how that's going to go. So downstairs there are two bathrooms. So there is one that's an ensuite to the bedroom downstairs, and then this one here is actually going to be the guest bathroom. It was a little struggle getting these candles onto this little platform. They just were not sliding across nicely, so it was a little bit of a struggle, and I will stick over that. And then I think at some point something happened and like half the candles disappeared, and I was just like, ugh, I'll just leave it, it's fine. There was other decorations around it, and I was just like, it's okay. I don't need to have all of those candles. It's probably impractical anyway. You know, you think about lighting all those candles every time you have a bath, it's just like, oh, so much work. So I just popped a little couple of shelves around there and a couple of mirrors. I actually ended up getting rid of the shelves on the inside of it. Again, just because of the platform there, it actually created some problems with placing items. So it's actually better not to put anything up above those platforms, I've found, just because of the difficulty of getting any item placed. I don't know, it stuffs up the whole placement thing, I guess. Mucks it all up. But this is the ensuite bathroom that we're going to use for the teenage girl bedroom that we were about to build. So each of the bedrooms, we have a teenage girl bedroom. So she's got the downstairs floor. And then up on the second floor, there is a boys' bedroom. There is a toddler bedroom. There is another girl's bedroom, a slightly younger girl. So I feel like, you know, the slightly younger girl really looked up to the big sister. So there's some little things that they have in common where she's been like, oh, but I want one of those too. And that's very much a kid thing because I have two boys, one that's 3 years younger than the other, and it's always very much like that. It's like, but I want one of those too, you know? So, yeah, I kind of thought about that as I was doing the little girl's room. That she's, you know, a couple of years younger or a few years younger than her teenage sister, and it's kind of like, but I want to be like my teenage sister, you know? So this room here, I went bold and I decided to do like a couple of like reds against this pink, which is like, you know, do I dare? But I think it works because there is a red within that wallpaper. So that wallpaper is from the Decor to the Max kit. Absolutely stunning. I really love this wallpaper. I end up using that upstairs as well. Oh, yeah, so there's another bedroom. So there's a master bedroom as well on the fourth floor. And the bedroom that I use this pattern in again is actually Grandma's bedroom. So we've got a grandma living in that house, and she's up on the top floor off by herself. She has her own little kind of unit, but Grandma does live here. She helps take care of the kids while the parents are at work, that sort of thing. So this is a multi-generational family house. So you've got the kids, you've got the parents, and you've got the grandparent. It might be both a bit grandparents. I mean, up to you, I guess, on that one. If you are wanting to play this house and you do want to have like a, you know, a multi-generation family in here, then, you know, the option is obviously there for you. But I did think of it as just the grandma's room. It is very girly. And you guys know, if you've watched any of my builds before, you know I love going girly. I can't help myself. I'm a girly girl, what can I say? But I do venture out into masculine stuff. Don't worry. Don't worry. I do like a masculine and a good strong masculine room as well. It's always fun to build. It's a good challenge. But you can see here, I was just talking about how in the more public rooms it's very pristine and tidy, but in the private rooms it does, particularly in the kids' room, get a little bit messier, particularly in the older kids' rooms, where maybe mum is more like, you got to tidy your own room and not willing to tidy it herself, or dad or grandma, whoever's taking the reign there with getting the kids to tidy their rooms. So yeah, the older kids have a little bit more responsibility in their own rooms for making sure it's tidy. So I felt like, them being a little bit messier made sense. So I'm going hard on the comfy gamer stuff. I love that kit. It has just got so many wonderful items in it, just for cluttering up rooms and not just studies, but I felt like there's a lot of really cute stuff for kids and teenagers in that pack. So I was having a lot of fun with that, and this is me just going, right, we're going to tie in the Pastel Pop kit as well as some of the high school year stuff. I feel like the Comfy Gamer, High School Years, and Pastel Pop all work so nicely together. I mean, they work with other packs as well, but those three packs just work so lovely together and were a big part of this particular room. Also a bit of the Love Struck too, in little bits and pieces, but yeah, strong influence of Comfy Gamer, Pastel Pop, and High School Years for sure. So just getting the rest of the colours in there. I did have to change the wardrobe on the top slightly because the tops of those wardrobes were actually sticking through on the next level, and I think sometime soon you'll actually see me changing that, because I'm just going to put some lights around the place just to brighten up some of the corners because they were a bit dull. And then yeah, I just sort of saw that they were sticking through, so I was like, okay, we'll get rid of those. That's the only thing. Sometimes when you're using short walls, which is what I'm doing, you do have the occasional issue with some of the stuff sometimes popping through onto the floor above, so you just have to kind of be a little wary of it. It's not a major problem and usually pretty easily fixed, but it is something you do need to be wary of. So this is our little second floor section that is up above the living room area, and yeah, I just wanted to create like a little art studio, kind of artsy hangout area. So maybe one of the parents is really into art, and perhaps, hey, maybe they're an art celebrity. You never know. I mean, they've got to be making some money somehow to be able to afford this house, because this house is not cheap. I want to say it was like, I don't know, maybe 300,000. Yeah, it wasn't cheap, but it's a lot of rooms, so that makes sense. So yeah, this is sort of like a little music room art studio, mainly an art studio, but there was a piano up there just to do a little bit of music-y type stuff. Maybe even a guitar? Did I put a guitar in there? Maybe it's a violin. It's a guitar or violin. I think it was a guitar. Anyway, music room / art studio. So let's get started on the second floor. So this is the bathroom. So this is the shared bathroom that is shared between the boys' room and the toddler room. So I felt like how I decorated it was kind of, you could go, the toddler room I kind of did like a slightly more neutral palette, so you could go girl or boy in that. But I felt like there was like the teenage girl, there's the two children, which was the boy and the girl, and then the toddler could be female or male. So I mean, you could have 2 boys, 2 girls, plus the parents, plus grandma. So you can have a full house with this one very easily. And you can have grandpa in there if you wanted to. So I did go hard on Parenthood for this room. I love the Parenthood pack for decorating kids' rooms. I think it's a really great pack for that, which really makes sense because, it's Parenthood. So using that for decorating kids' rooms, really just, logical. But, sometimes The Sims doesn't always follow the logic that I follow. So not always making the sense that I think they should. But in this case, kids' rooms with Parenthood pack, making the sense and working. So yay, there we go. So just doing kind of a riff on blue in this room, sort of blues and teals and that sort of thing. Little touches of green as well. It's, the bed kind of had these little touches of lime green in it. So I thought that was going to be cool just to pull into the room in a couple of places. Ended up just mainly being the end table, I think. But yeah, cute little bits of teal around the room to contrast with the blues, and cute room. And again, just brightening that up with some different lighting around the place. I did get creative with some of the lighting around. So I was really happy with that. Yeah, so you can sort of see the lime green touches on the bedspread, and then I just brought that in with the end table there as well. There isn't a heap of lime green stuff that would be good for kids' rooms, I guess. I didn't specifically look for lime green stuff around that could go in a kid's room, to be fair. It's just I happened to see that end table and I was like, oh, that could work really nicely against the bedspread. I know there's like the base game lime green stuff. There's like a toilet and a sink and I think some kitchen counters and that sort of thing, but that's really not appropriate for a young boy's room. Okay, so I'm working on the gym at the moment, so I just wanted to have some space there for the fridge to go up against the wall, so I did some smaller door frames. I was initially doing the larger ones, but yeah, I just needed that little tiny bit of wall space to pop in the little fridge. So you've got a mini fridge, some towels, you've got a yoga area and treadmill, the little weight machine thing, and the boxing. So, you know, lots of little fitness options there. Got the mirror along the wall so you can see what you're doing, a TV to watch while you're jogging away, little towels, protein shakes, drink bottles, little weight sets, you know, all of those little things that are good to have in a gym, and a home gym at that. I mean, I'd love to have a proper home gym. I might get more fitness done, she says. Yeah, well, you know, a girl can dream. And it's also like a little meditation area, so you know that you're keeping it zen. Keeping it zen, ma'am. Yeah, that's what we're all about. So then moving on to the toddler room. So the Storybook Nursery kit went hard in this room. So I'm using yellows and blues. So as I said, just going quite neutral as far as the colours go. I didn't really assign this to a particular like boy or girl. I think, you know, yellow could suit a girl, boy, you know, blues could suit the boy. So either direction on that one. You pick, dealer's choice. But yeah, Storybook Nursery kit, went hard on that. All the pretty things from that pack, from that kit. It's such a lovely little kit for doing a cute little toddler or newborn room or infant room. Absolutely adorable. So, you know, you got little sets and little toys and the diaper changing table, and also the hanging wardrobe set with the little infant clothes and, you know, stuff like that is so cute. I put the potty in there. I just didn't have room in the bathroom for it. So it's a potty in the bedroom, which isn't ideal, I admit, but really didn't have room in the bathroom for it, so it is what it is. As I said, it's not like you stay a toddler for all that long anyway, so I'm sure it's one of those rooms that would probably evolve into a kid's room, etc. as needed. But multi-generation is lovely. So this is the ensuite for the younger girl's room. So she's a child, a few years younger than her teenage sister, and just totally looks up to her sister and is like, I want to be like you. I initially started doing this pink, but then decided I wanted to have it a lot, I guess, different from what we did in the teenage room. Because, you know, I was talking about how she really looks up to her sister and wants to be a lot like her sister. So that's kind of where I initially started. And then I was like, you know what, let's just twist this a little bit and go with a slightly different color palette than what her sister has, just to make it look a little more different. So, you know, she still has her own personality, but just looks so up to her sister so much and wants to be so much like her sister. So yeah, I did twist this up a little bit. You'll see that. I think in a minute I'll start changing that around. Also, how about me realizing that unit from high school years, that little vintage unit, you can hang things in. I didn't know that. I hadn't been using that as a hanging unit whatsoever. So I was like just playing around, I don't know, a little while ago. And then I was just like, what? Hang on, you can hang things in here. I was like, Velvet, how did you miss that? But I did miss that, and duh. So you can see I've switched it up to more of a purple style room, and I think that sort of really still works nicely with, you know, being wanting to be like her sister, but just having a little bit of her own personality to it as well. So going more purple than the pink, which is more her sister's vibe. So she's like, well, I'm going to twist it up and be like a little bit more purple than pink. So on to the next bathroom, which is going to be the ensuite for the master bedroom. So this is the third of the 3 bathrooms on this level. I know, right? 2 bathrooms on the bottom level, 3 bathrooms on the second level, and then there was 1 bathroom up on the 3rd level, and that goes with it as an ensuite for grandma's little apartment up the top. So this is each of the bathrooms. I actually did slightly different colors, I think, in them as well. So all the bathrooms aren't exactly the same, like a lot of the same things in them, but I did make them a little more individual as well, so it's just not like all the same. So I'm just filling up the hallways at the moment out in the second floor. So obviously I had quite a lot of blank wall to deal with, so I was like, right, we're going to add some more little decorations and just some little feature areas. So just doing a little seating area here with some items on the shelves. I was having trouble getting the plants on there the way that I wanted to, so I ended up having to switch over to the other side to get that to work. And then I decided, can I put a plant in the middle of this pot? So I'm just filling all of the, the snap spots, and then I put that plant in the middle, and it actually worked a treat. So I was like, oh, that fits perfectly in there, so yay. So that's another cute little planter idea. Yeah, you just sort of build up this little catalogue, I guess, of little ideas and tricks and things that you do when you're building. Issue. So just using some more of the Secret Sanctuary bookshelves up there, and then here I'm just going to be creating another little book nook. So actually using the book nook kit here rather than the Secret Sanctuary bookshelves, which is what we use on the downstairs book nook. So this is like a book nook, if that makes sense. I did have a little bit of trouble with how those shelves were kind of sitting. Like I moved them slightly, and then they were half, like the top one was moved over, and it was kind of like half sitting through the wall, and it was just like, ugh. So it was fussing around a little bit, but we got there in the end. And I changed the wallpaper on that nook as well, just to do like a slightly more darker look to that corner. I just felt like it kind of worked just to change the color of that corner. I don't do it anywhere else in the house, but I thought it would just work there, so that's what I did. But there was quite a bit of chocolate, I think, in that nook, just with the pillows or the cushions that were on the sofa. And I thought bringing in some of the darker shades could be quite cute in that corner, so that's what I did there. And just another bookshelf sort of there. And then I think it's just onto the master bedroom. I think that's most of the second floor done. Oh, we've got some rugs and a little bit of artwork just to go on. But that was about it. It was... what I found to be a bit of a struggle is finding enough neutral coloured artwork and rugs and stuff to decorate the house with. That's why I had to do like all these little creative little areas in the hallway, because neutral art in the game is actually a bit of a struggle. I would love to have more neutral art in the game. I mean, that would be just so nice. So this is the master bedroom, and in this master bedroom I am going hard on the Modern Luxe kit, going more chocolatey brown, so just taking the neutral sort of color palette but just like deepening it with the chocolate brown. And hello, how nice is that TV? Like, I love that TV. We got that with the Secret Sanctuary kit. I think there's like a cat swatch as well. I didn't go with the cat swatch. I was very, very tempted, but I felt like that lady swatch was absolutely perfect for this room, so that's what I went with. And I just brought in sort of like, again, just with the neutral wallpaper and the neutral floors, which are the same throughout a lot of the house, and then just brought in like the chocolates and the golds in this room, and I thought that was just absolutely lovely. Now I did end up needing to change this chair and a little bit of one of the corners because it was a routing issue for The Sims when I play tested it. So there was a couple of little minor changes in that bedroom. And I put in the costume trunk. Like, I don't love the costume trunk, which we got with Love Struck, but I thought, A, I don't have room for a proper dresser, and B, yeah, maybe that kind of works in that room. So I just ended up going with that because I thought that, oh well, I'll just be fun and put that in there. They can have some role-playing fun in their bedroom. Oh dear. Not something I'd normally put in a bedroom, but I thought it worked for them, so I was happy to. So we are up to the last level in the house, so level 3. So level 3, this is going to be the kids' rumpus room. So this is just a room dedicated to just the kids. I really could have gone 8 bedrooms very easily on this, but I felt like you don't really need 8 bedrooms in The Sims unless it's all single people, and it's not going to be all single people in this one. You know, you could sleep 8 Sims in here easy peasy. So, you know, do I really need 8 bedrooms? No. So let's get a little bit creative about what bedrooms we put in here. And what rooms we put in here. So I did want to add in like some activity stuff and skill building stuff for all of the Sims that live here. So, you know, there's some cool skill building stuff in this room for the kids, you know, as far as imagination with the dollhouse and communication as well, because I imagine I'm going to sit there and play the games and watch the TV together, creativity again with the drawing table. So, you know, and I put the violin in there, again, skill building. So, you know, lots of skill building options, and also I snuck in like a little PC too. So plenty of options there just to develop and grow your Sims as a family. So I thought that was really cute just to have this area here where they could just sit down and enjoy a movie together or play games together or just basically be noisy and make a mess, because that's what kids like to do, right? So this is me just adding like a little bit of clutter around the place, some kids toys and bits and pieces, little hobby things, you know, stuff that says kids play here. And that was kind of the idea of the room. It's a kids play here kind of room, right? And yeah, cute little statues, bits and pieces. And then that takes us off to the final bedroom and bathroom, which is Grandma's bedroom. This is me just trying to decide what direction I want to go. Then I was like, oh, I know. And then just use this beautiful pink and white wallpaper that comes with decor to the max. I was like, that's going to be perfect. And then I just had to find the perfect bed, which is this one here from high school years in the white with the little flowers on it. I was just like, oh, that's so girly and pretty. I love it. Then I brought in a whole lot of the Secret Sanctuary stuff in this bedroom because I felt like that really matched the room, a little bit more of a vintage antique kind of feel. So using the vanity and the art from that pack, and as well as the chair and the little, was it the music box from that as well. So I felt like that was such a cute room. Sorry, that was a door banging shut behind me. It gave me a fright. And yeah, a cute room. I thought that was absolutely adorable. And then I just needed to bring that through to the bathroom. Just something that was going to be good for Grandma. Obviously, I realised that stairs aren't great for Grandma, but I feel like she's a good, healthy Grandma that can get up and down the stairs okay. She's still active, still getting out there with the kids, and is still all good with managing the stairs. As are all sort of Sims grandmas, I guess. At that point in their age, point in their life, they can quite easily get through. I was initially going to do like that pretty leaf curtain, but yeah, it just wasn't fitting there properly. So I did a mirror, did a little hanging plant, just like cute little features, just to add a little bit of personality to the bathroom and fill up the space. It's actually quite a large bathroom, so there's a nice amount of space in there to get around and. Plenty of room to do your business, you know. And I think that is getting close to the end of our build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It was a lot of talking from me. I have had the school holidays, 7 weeks of summer holidays here in New Zealand. So I haven't always had the time to do a full voiceover or a voiceover at all with my speed builds. Unfortunately, I've done the best I can to keep my content up. Despite the holidays and the fact that, you know, obviously I'm looking after the kids full time and, you know, that sort of thing. So I actually had a little bit of time today. The kids are still on holiday. They go back to school next week. So I thought, well, you know what, let's just do a full voiceover. And I'll leave you guys with the screenshots. Enjoy. Bye.